me on me. Ain't nothing beautiful. Ain't nothing unique about that. Ain't nothing unique about that. Karen and I went through these things where she was saying, even to me this week, she had to come to the conclusion that I'm not her father, that I can't be her father because I'm her husband. So that means she had a perception in her head of what she was looking for in a husband that was totally wrong. So therefore, she was looking for me to be a father figure, and that's not my role. Right. My role is to be a husband.
Because he's such a nice dad. Well, I'm just being real. He's such a nice dad to his kids, and that's what I want. But it can't be him. I can't be a dad. He can't be my dad. I'm married.
And in her mindset, she was treating me that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, whatever you have in your head that you want, you treat that thing that way. But that's where she was treating me. And it's like, and I had to say to her one day, I'm your husband, not your father. Imagine if your father was sleeping with you. That'd be insane. Ooh, ew. Y'all was supposed to say, ew.
But I didn't care.
So when we got our roles right, this book is a book that every single woman, and that's why I used to say when I'm doing my seminar, they go, well, single people shouldn't be up in here. There's the people that should be here. All single people ought to be in to hear this, because this will help you to know when that guy asks you to marry him, whether or not you should say yes. Because he asked you, don't mean you should say yes. Because one of the things I found in here, God does the presenting, we do the choosing. God will never choose your mate for you, because if he chooses your mate for you, he has to take responsibility for the outcome. God ain't going to take he's not going to take responsibility for your choice.
Mm-hmm.
You chose.
I don't want the free will in the choice. Just do it for me.
No.
See, I like her. She's very honest. She's always been honest. I don't want my free will. I want you to do it for me. But that's good. But here's the flip side of that.
In some cases, yeah.
But yes, he will help you. I mean, just this chapter alone. I ain't gonna lie. Just this chapter. If you would just take this book and read this chapter alone, you will find out when you ask God for a mate, He will present one almost for the weakest out. But don't mean you have to choose it.
Right.
Why? What's the basis of the choice? Information. Information. You need to get as much information about that person, about that thing, even about yourself, before you get into any serious relationship with anyone. It will, because remember, I think I showed you that one where he's talking about what a man will do. He'll work. A man will work. Yeah, I think that Miles Monroe. That kind of stuff. Anytime a man is making excuses, I can't find no job. That's a bunch of baloney. Work ain't about 9 to 5. Get up and go do something. As my dad had that part right. Wake up, get up, and go do something. Go do something.
Something. Yeah.
Go do something.
Positive.
Positive, yeah. So, just something positive. Okay. That'd be honest with you. I can't cover all. Let's verse page 12. We have confused. That's the next. We have confused singleness with what?
Being
alone. We get singleness and being alone confused, because that's two separate things. And that's when I saw, when he says to Adam, it's not good for you to be alone, he was not talking about his singleness.
Right.
Why was Adam alone? Let's stop and think about it. Why was Adam alone?
Adam was alone because God put him in the garden to govern or to have dominion over
he hadn't created woman yet.
That's the
hadn't created a woman.
There was no one like his kind.
That was not okay.
There was no one like his kind there. He was there all by himself. That's what God was saying. It wasn't good for him to be there all. So
himself.
The cure for that was to make the woman. So if you're alone, he says, get out of the house and go get with some other people. Not go get married. Go get with some other people. And I always say, get with your kind. If you're an introvert, find some introverts to hang out with. Look them up on it's easy today. You can look them up on Facebook. You can look them up on there's probably some
But
groups.
he didn't know that he was alone.
That's
did he?
what it says. He did not even recognize
that
he was alone. It was God that said, man, look, it ain't good for Adam to be in there by himself. Adam didn't say that. God said that about Adam. He said, look, I better make him some folk because he might get out there and get to mingling with the goats or the cows because he's so alone. He's by himself. And
Well, yeah.
think about it like this. Even
that.
Amway said this, that you will never, no, Miles Monroe said this. No, John C. Maxwell.
Right.
One, you can't get too much done by yourself as one.
You got that right.
Cleaning this house by yourself will drive you, it will take you months. But if you can organize it, structure it, and get you some help. You got 3 of them up there and 1 here, 1 4, 4, 3.5, including myself. I ain't much help because I'm working tired.
Yeah,
But
I understand.
But the question is, one is not too significant of a number. I know Jesus done it by himself, but look what he done. In his one, he created all of us. Because he knew I need some help to get this done. He called it the church. He called it the ecclesia. He called it his cabinet. It's not good to be alone, not single. He did not say to Adam, Adam, it's not good to be single. He said it's not good for you to be. Even if you take that word alone and break it down, it means without one.
Without one.
That A-L, I broke it down once and looked them all up. Looked these words up in there. It means without one. He was without his kind because the cow had to mate, the goat had to mate, the sheep had, everybody else had their kind. But Adam. Got it right.
Got it right.
Will there ever be a time, and has there ever been a time, when you will cease to be separate, unique, or whole? The answer to that should be no. You never stop being unique. That's what I liked about Christ. I saw Christ all over that word unique. He was such a unique person that he never stopped his uniqueness. Even when he got the group, he got the disciples, he was still a unique, whole individual. He did not need us to make him complete. He needed us to carry out what he was trying to do, which was extend heaven to earth. That's what Christ needed us to help him do, not to make him be whole. Oh, I hope you get this today. Man, when I got this and I understood this, I used to say this all the time. I don't need a woman to make me whole. I got to be whole on my own. That's why he said, and they twain, whole, 2 whole individuals get together and become what? One. So it's 2 that becomes 1, not 1 that becomes. We get it backwards. It's 1 whole individual get together with another whole individual, and they work on singleness, one particular task, one particular thing. God has given this woman and myself the same message, but different ways to carry it out. Because she's a female, I'm a male. But we both got the same message, and I declare to God sitting at this table, I did not tell her what she would call her to do. That's called purpose. Your purpose is in the mind of the one that created you, and I did not create her.
Thank you, God.
So, and there's a lot of men out there today that are stifling their wives or stifling the person, and they become the problem. Wow. And then it's the woman problem for hanging around the problem.
Well, good now.
You can't fix it.
No.
I've been saying to one, now you can't fix. Our job is not to fix people. Your job is to fix yourself.
Amen. That's true.
If the answer is no, then the next question is, does getting married do away with the function of being single? The answer to that is no.
No.
When you marry, you do not. When you marry, do you stop being a single individual who is unique and whole? Furthermore, the Bible does not teach that singleness is bad, negative, or unhealthy. Oh, goodness. If a state of singleness means to be unique and whole, then to be totally single should be every Christian's number 1 goal. And this book, I will tell you, will help get you there if that's what you want to be. let me look at a little. Well, there it is right there. Marriage counselors, the very top. Marriage counselors, whether Christian or secular, will tell you that 99% of marital problems arise because a husband or wife, or both, have not been seen as unique, worthy individuals. They all have a what? Bad self-image. What's another word we call that?
Low self-esteem.
Low self-esteem. Two people with low self-esteem get together and drive each other batty. That's really all that's taking place. And
trying to satisfy one another.
Yes, thinking the other one ought to satisfy him or satisfy her. That's all. That's 99% of marital problems even today.
I certainly did it.
Yep, I had a bad this is why I tell people I figured out why I got married the first time. I thought I was better than my ex-wife. I thought my family was better than my ex-wife. So I was going to get on my white horse and ride up in there and save my ex-wife from her family and the stuff I saw going on in there. But what I didn't see was how bad mine were. I thought, because when you think yours is better, you're going to go in there and rescue somebody. And I found out, we got in that relationship together, and I found out I had low self-esteem too. And what I figured out was people with high self-esteem, excuse me, and this might hurt your feelings, but they don't hang out with folks with low self-esteem.
They don't.
No, they don't.
They don't.
That's what made me know that mine was just as low as her. Because why am I over there trying to, why am I hanging out with you? If anything, I should have been bringing you to Jesus so you can bring it up. But no, I brought it to me, brought a ring to it, put a ring on it. That sister said, what's her name? If you like it, then you got to put a ring on it. Yeah. I put a ring on it. I put a ring on it. And my God, 8 years of just me and her not understanding. And as I began to discover that I had a bad self-image. And I thought that I was bad. We be honest. As I was thinking this morning, I never blamed my ex-wife for anything because that was all on me. I had these ideals that the Lee family, the Lee clan, we had it all together. And man, we all of that in a bag of chips, and I found out my chips were stale. Somebody had opened the bag. Somebody opened the bag and left them open.
Left them open.
And
rotten.
Yeah, rotten bag of chips. I mean, the potatoes had gone. The potatoes had gone bad. So, and I found here's another. I mean, I was just using all of these scenarios. If you can't swim, don't try to rescue no one. Right. I know you got to stand on the bank and it's painful to watch that person go under, but jump out there. It's going to be 2 dead instead of 1. The news going to be reporting he couldn't swim, he dived out there and went with him. Okay, well, you hero, you go ahead on.
And that happens a lot, too.
That happens.
It does.
But think about it. People get in a relationship. It's like your friend. It ain't your job to fix him. You jump in, I'm going to marry him. I'm going to take it. I'm going to help him get his life together. No. That's your first mistake, thinking you going to help get his life together. That's his job.
I know God was telling me the other day in prayer that, because I want to get friends, don't worry about friends. Bring them to me. Don't worry about having friends.
Bring them to him.
Bring them to me. Then I said, okay, yeah, you're right. That's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do to further the kingdom of God.
That's it. We have this mentality. Girl, you get up here. I ain't coming like that church. They ain't friendly. It ain't your job. Don't be coming to make friends. Right. Our job is to bring people to Christ. Why?
Hallelujah.
So that they can discover their purpose. He can help and show them who they really are.
In the process, I'll get friends.
If you become friends later on, that was not your initial mindset. Right. That was not your goal. You didn't set out to do that. Right. It just happened. We just happened to like each other, and we got close to one another. But that's not your objective, is to be their friend. Right. But I guarantee you it will happen. Because man, I'm looking at some stuff. We all working on some stuff. But this right here, bad self-image, or they are, what is that, schizophrenic in some way, or not whole, or they are not separate, but always depend on some other person to make them happy. Isn't that what's going on?
Yeah.
I told Karen when I first got married, do I look like Bobo the Clown to you? I don't.
Why?
Because my job ain't. What does the clown do? Make you happy.
laugh.
Make you happy. Make you. That's not my role. Now I might make you happy, might make you laugh, but that's not my role. That's your role to make yourself happy. We give it away. We turn it over to somebody else. Make me happy. Dance, clown, do something. No, that ain't gonna make you happy. Because when you walk away from that setting or that scene, if you were miserable, that only gonna make you happy for. Shopping ain't gonna make you happy.
Shopping makes me happy.
Yeah, shopping because you spend it's an endorphin. But does it last?
No.
So you really not. See, God want to give you something that's everlasting. I went through all of this stuff. I figured I go, wow. Yeah, the moment I go, even men, they won't tell you. It depends on what a man is shopping for. If he want a boat and he got enough money to go get him a boat, I bet you he's smiling all the way down there. Yeah. But it ain't gonna last. Because it's outward, it's monetary. Right. That's not what the singleness is all about. What I am saying is that until you are truly single, marriage will be a difficult and perhaps negative experience. I can wave my hand to that. Mm-hmm. That was me. I'm reading this. I'm going through divorce and reading this and saying, wow.
But in that process, did you know you?
No.
You have no clue.
I had no clue who I was. That's what he's talking about. I had zero clue.
If you decide or if you wanting that person to make you happy, then that means you don't know who you are. You don't know who you got. You can't separate them two. I was doing that to you.
Yes.
Because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know how to be happy.
You remember I asked you one day? I said, Carrie, what do you really want? She said, I don't know.
I don't really know.
Well, I said, well, how am I going to give you
what
you want?
How you going to make me happy?
When you don't even know what it is you want. See the role that we put on? I've seen people do this. And I hear Dr. Phil talk about it all the time. I've seen women get married and think if they have a child, that's going to trap the man. That's going to make him stay. And then now he's going to work on it and make me happy. And we're going to be happy together. No, honey. You missed it again. You have given that child a job and it ain't even born yet. Mm-hmm. You want it to keep you two together. You want it to make you happy. That's not his role.
That's not his role.
It's your role to find, and you will not.
Or, as you told me, you need to go and ask God.
Yes.
God is the one that created you. You ask him who you are. You ask him to make you happy. So now when I'm not happy, when I'm depressed or this and that, I talk to him now. It's your job to make me happy. It's your job to do this. It's your job to I go to him.
Never thought about it.
That's see, so that takes the burden off of who?
Off of him.
And it allows me to seek him for the things that he wants me to do. And then believe me. Because
I would do it.
I will make you a promise.
I would be mad with him because he wouldn't make me happy. He wouldn't do this. He wouldn't do that. I keep telling him that's what I like flowers. I like chocolate candy. Oh, I like this. I like that. Sometimes he do it. Sometimes he don't. But then I realized, okay, let me go to him and tell him to tell him.
And I declare to God it works. I got something right now in my bag for her. Ooh. She don't even know it. But this is what I'm trying to say. He said, husband.
Give me.
Stop it. Stop it. Husband, he began to deal with me. If we leave people alone and we get where we're supposed to be, then he starts working on the person so that person will do some things that a husband is supposed to do. Right. He started telling me personally, showed me in the Bible, husband, love your wife. I used to teach this at the church all the time. Yes. When I looked that word love up, it's a Greek word which means in a moral and social way. And like everybody else, I pretend like I didn't know what that was. I said, show me. Help me to understand moral and social. He broke social down to me like this. He said, on your job, when you're working on that job, do you socialize with them? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, do you curse them out when they make you mad?
No.
Why? Because I need this job and I know I'll get fired.
Yeah.
So if you can control yourself on your job, but you can't control yourself at home, you're not being real.
Yeah.
Why did I ask him this? So now he's teaching me that it's a socialize. You gotta learn. And then Kara would slap me in the face with this when she said, I bet you don't talk to them girls at the job like that. And I'd be sitting there saying, no, I don't. And I know they make me mad. They make me mad sometimes, but I don't say nothing.
That is true.
But when we get home, somebody make us mad, what we do? We let them have it.
Bite my head
So
off.
don't tell me you don't know how to socialize and control yourself. Yes, you do.
That is so simple. But I struggle with that all the time. I'm like, why can't I control this or that? But that makes so much sense. I can control it.
You can control it. Don't tell me. You do it every day at that 9 to 5. It's called socialization. And you just don't bring them skills home. You think when you get home that when they ought to behave a certain way, they ought to act a certain way, but you don't think that when you get to the job, and they make you just as mad at that job, doing some of the same stuff that them folks do at the house.
And not just because you having a bad day. You went to work having a bad day.
I went to work. I go to work with a lot of times don't get no sleep. Now, a lot of times I show up with a bad day, but I don't take it out on them.
Don't take it out on them.
Kara said you don't take it out on them. How come you come home and take it out on me? I had to go somewhere and have a seat and think about that.
Right. And it's like a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
Because they tell you one of the first things on the job, how you need to conduct yourself. And you're like, okay.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I need to
go home.
money.
But then you go home.
Cha-ching.
Because you're getting paid. And you know you need this. But then when you get home, you don't think about them like
relax.
you just...
Your mind is all, oh, God, I'm so free from that.
I'm going to kill you so-and-so. Get out of my house. Y'all ain't no good. I'm leaving here. But you ain't never said that at the job.
But I did that. I wanted to talk like that to Joan, but I didn't do it. I wanted to talk like that to John, but I didn't do it.
See how he broke, and he told me that one morning while I was rocking in the chair. He said, husband, love your wife. Then he says, get up. I want you to get up. I'm telling you, he was talking to me. That's why I said, people said God don't talk. Yes, he would. He said, I want you to get up and go look that word up in the Greek. I got up that morning before I went to work. I looked that word up in the Greek. When I saw in a moral and social way sitting there, I said, oh, my God. So I thought about it all the way to the job on the bus. I had plenty of time to think. I'm on the bus. I ain't got to drive, pay attention to hit nobody. I'm thinking. I said, well, give me an example. That's when he brought my job to me. And he began to run down. You not know I began to see myself that I had a problem.
Yeah.
The Mac Lee that everybody brags on and talk about, I got a problem because I don't treat my wife like I do the folks at the job. I started praying, Lord, help me.
Help me.
You got to help me because I'm being hypocritical. I'm one way at the job and I'm another way when I get home. I'm being hypocritical. Help me, Jesus. That's why he wants us to come in. And he started telling me why. He started taking, I was depressed.
Yes.
And you hide it when you go to the job, but you let it out when you get back home, and you expect them folks to understand when you get home. But on the job, you don't expect them folks to understand. Why don't you expect them from the house? Because they don't know what you're going through. Ain't nobody never sit down. Y'all don't sit down and talk about it. Just like everybody else, we just sit on it and hide it. I ain't got nobody I can talk to. Well, I can talk to you, Jesus. Because he said what? Come. Bring it to me. Bring it on. You know why we don't bring it to him? One, he's invisible. We want somebody visible we can talk to. I know. Well, tell me if I'm lying. Lena sit here and says she's been going to counseling. Did she say for over 20 years?
Yeah.
But she's still depressed.
She's still mighty depressed.
Mighty depressed. So let's ask the question, is that really happened then?
No.
All right, then let's move on. We got to learn to take this stuff to an invisible king and stop making excuses and holding on to it. That's every one of us sitting at this table. Because he said, bring it to me. Bring it to me. And we said, no, I'm going to keep it. I'll talk about it, but I'm going to keep it.
Well, the next time when they're here, because I don't think they're coming, we're going to talk about the word denial.
Yeah.
That's the main, I won't say the main thing that's going on in people's lives, but it's one of the crucial things. I had written down some things that God had told me. What is hurting you?
But I started looking back, and I was telling you, I was molested, and we never ever talked about it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that stuff hurts.
It does.
And I notice sometimes it creeps back up now in my life.
Mm-hmm.
The pain of it. And and we hide it. We think it's not real.
Right.
We don't want it to be real.
Right.
The pain of that. But it's like that's so real for me to hear you talk like this. And you were saying that God said we're gonna get deliverance.
We're gonna get deliverance from it. We are oppressed.
Yes.
We are we are oppressed. Everything, boom, boom, this comes up, boom, this comes up. And it triggers all these emotions again. Mm-hmm. Now I'm in denial. And what is denial? I wrote down what denial is. A condition in which someone will not admit that something is sad, painful, etc. is true or real. We can't accept it.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about me.
And you're right. She can lean on me. She can talk to me. Mm-hmm. But
in a wifely not
way.
A child way.
Yes.
I wanted that father to do that. To care for me like he cares for his kids. Right. But now God had told me,
That's reality. That's reality. I mean, I can't. I'm sitting here listening to you talking. I can see that it's him talking to you, and it ain't me.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm over here dealing with my own stuff, but that's helping me because I saw her. I've been with her for 21 years. I've seen her go through all of this. I've seen her emerging out of all of this and becoming the woman that God really want her to be. And yet, and when you were saying that about, think about what it's like for a child to grow up without a father, the struggles that they're going to have.
Yeah.
She had a problem with authority.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
Carrie had a hard time for me listening to me tell her what to do.
Yeah.
Because the husband is authority in the family.
Yeah.
The father is the authority in the family. So here I am trying to tell her what to do, and she's arguing back with me, or putting up a wall.
I don't give you my husband. You don't tell me what to do.
And it's like that. So
I mean, come on now.
And
I'm my own person because I've been independent for so long. When I got married, I was married 26 years old.
If they want to fix Chicago, it's going to take somebody, one, with an anointing of God on their life, two, somebody that's very loving, somebody to go in there to understand what those children are going through when there is no father in the house. Yeah. All those young men on those streets don't have a father figure.
You can tell.
You can see it in their behavior. They are oppressed. Yeah. So they care nothing about their lives. So if they don't care nothing about their own life, you don't mean nothing to them.
That's right.
Our friend Eric, what's his relationship with his father?
His mother and father were together.
But what was the relationship?
He grew up in the house with his father. His father was older. Like, his father was, like, in his late 30s, early 40s when Eric was born.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
So, do you know what the relationship is like, though?
He said no. I remember in junior high going to his house one day, and we were talking, and his dad came out and yelled at him about something. And I was like, "Oh, your grandfather mean?" And he was like, "That's my dad."
Oh my God, you thought it was his grandpa?
Mm-hmm. I think he was trying to, discipline Eric, but because he was so old, I guess Eric was like,
sit down again, my grandfather used to beg the young women in the church back then, get to know the man, know his family, know his culture, know what he's about. Don't just, I had to say to my daughter, don't just get so wrapped up in emotions that your head stop thinking, that you can't see nothing. And I figured this out. Go ask somebody in the family that don't like him. They'd be glad to tell you stuff about him. They got some folks. Find somebody in that family that don't care too much about him, because your enemy will divulge all your secrets. Johnny, they allow you, enemies don't like allowing you. They like to tell all your secrets, and most of it is true.
Yeah, true.
Child, they think this, and they think some of it is a lie, but most of it, they done studied you, right. And they'll run you down like a car. I'm striving to be truly single. Is where before we get into God's view. That's my goal. Even in my marriage, I'm still striving to be truly that unique, single individual. The day I read this book 20-some years ago, almost 25 years ago, I still have been striving for singleness. I'm not interested in being something that everybody has seen before. That's why I even say from the pastoral role, imagine you came to a church, or imagine you were part of a group, and everybody in there can do what Jesus done. Yeah. Wouldn't that be unique? Yeah. Tell me that wouldn't be unique. That everybody up in there had read that scripture in John, and everybody in here seeing that we should be doing what Jesus said we can do, and every one of us have the ability to do it. Get up out of here. That ain't no church you've ever seen somewhere before. That's the uniqueness and the singleness that I'm looking for. I'm not trying to be like status. I'm not trying to be like everybody else. I don't care. There's no either talking about me Sunday school at 9:45. Service at 11 o'clock. You ain't going to get that out of Maglee, because I'm not a part of it. I don't even want to hear about none of that. I want to know what we've done Monday through Friday. So when we come together on Sunday, Monday through Saturday, when we come together on Sunday, we can worship him for how he used us throughout the week, and put on a clinic of healing and getting his people free. Oppressed, set free. And this is what my wife was talking about a few minutes ago. We all dealing with oppression. And that's why God is trying to get us set free so we can go set somebody else free. That's our role. The anointing up on us. I ain't talking about no hollering and screaming. I'm talking about when we show up, the devil knows that these people about to be free.
Yes. That's right.
These folk going to be set free, because why? There's an anointing up on us, strength and power and ability to get the job done. That's a unique individual. Let's look at God's view of singleness. I love this book. Yes, I do love this book. In Genesis 2:18, it always goes back to the beginning. It's not good that man be what? Single. That's not what it said. It said it's not good that man should be what? Alone. God never said that you shouldn't be single. He said you shouldn't be alone. Get your behind out and go get with some people. Go bowling with some people. Go shoot some pool. Go shoot some basketball. Get away from being alone. When you by yourself, most of the time, that's when you do crazy stuff.
But I like being by myself.
Not all the time.
Yeah, I do.
And you enjoy being with people too. When you and Sister Leslie went out, did y'all have a good time?
Oh yeah.
That's what he's
People
talking
I
about.
know.
He ain't talking about go every day. But the problem is being by yourself is not a good idea. He's telling Adam that.
I understand.
God is saying that.
But some people have to deal with their self-esteem
Yes.
issues before going out there.
You better.
It's just like, if I go out there now, I really don't want to talk to nobody because I'm about me. Because I'm
You're still trying to.
I'm still battling.
Wait till you
me.
discover who you really are, and
Right.
you'll see. When you do, yeah, it's. But the whole essence is that being alone part. It is not what
not
God
good.
said. It's not good.
It's not good.
Even though you're dealing with yourself,
Right.
that part is not
We got to
good.
deal with ourselves for a second.
God had that's absolutely true. God had no problem with man's separateness, his uniqueness, or his wholeness. As a matter of fact, Adam did not know he was alone. That's what Adam didn't even know he was alone. You never see nowhere where Adam said, "Boy, I'm so lonely." Adam didn't even know he was by himself.
What he was doing. He was enjoying himself.
God's statement was predicated on his own observation of the situation, his own wisdom. He saw his own wisdom and said, "It's not good for this man to be down here by himself." That's all I'm trying to say. Down at the bottom. Oh, another thing you need to see is that Adam did not need a wife. He didn't make him a wife. They didn't get married to chapters later, on down the line. He said it wasn't good. That's what gets me with people. They think, I ain't gonna be, and they go out and get him a man. And they throw him up in the bed with him or put a ring on his finger, and they find out it don't work.
Well, they use the scripture.
Yes.
Burn.
Yeah, better married than to burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, all kinds of, church, I heard all of this stuff. But then I'm married. They said, you better marry that girl before you run and sleep with her. Yeah. Well, sleeping with her, was that as bad as being divorced? Which one Jesus talked about? He talked about both. But then he talked about the consequences of me divorcing her and the stigma and the thing that it leaves on her life forever.
Yes.
Is an affects her life and my life and the children's life. But the church folk were worrying about us getting together and sleeping together. So I married her.
That's more important.
I married her. 8 years later, I divorced her. And the same folk that told me to marry her turned around and said that this ain't going to work. Listen to me. Get away from them crazy folks sitting beside you telling you trying to control your life. Get away from them. They'll tell you what to do, turn around and talk about me like a dog. And then when we divorced, everybody said, he can't be right. He need to keep her. Oh, my Lord. Would you...
They're so ignorant.
When people...
They're so ignorant.
When you allow people to control your life, when you allow them to dictate, look at their own lives and see if they're going through the same thing that you're going through. Get away from me.
I just read a joke about that.
Do you remember what it was?
Yeah.
I love it. Bruce said.
A man was walking with his son and a donkey.
Oh.
And
I know that one.
you know that
Yeah,
one?
well, go ahead.
I didn't hear.
Well, I might not tell it right.
Go tell it.
So the boy was riding on the donkey, and they passed by some people, and some people said, "Why that boy got that old man walking, or something? The older man walking, and he riding the donkey." And they thought about it, so they switched places. Then they walked by some more people, and they were like, "Why is that heavy man walking, riding on that donkey?" And so they thought about it, and then they carried the donkey. And I don't know if they walked by more people, but I know they were crossing the bridge, and they lost their balance, and the donkey fell over into the water and drowned. And it was like the moral was, you can't make everybody happy.
You
People
can't
always
make her
gonna
happy.
have an opinion.
Oh,
They
yes.
always gonna have something to say.
Yes.
Why ain't Leslie married yet? Leslie don't marry Eric. Then you marry Eric.
Yeah.
Leslie should have done that.
Girl, I told you.
I knew that wasn't gonna
I
make
knew that was.
it. She was just desperate. That's what it was.
No, yeah. Yeah, that's what they do.
Listen,
that's
what the purpose of finding your own
And let God
life
do it.
and let God direct your life. I
That's right.
promise you, it will turn out okay. It will turn out for the best. I stopped letting people dictate to me and telling me how it ought to be. I've
their lives are
discovered,
miserable.
yes, their lives are miserable and misery love company.
Yes, man.
And matter of fact, it's like this. You and this water bottle getting together, discussing, telling each other what y'all purpose is. The only person that knows the purpose of this water bottle is the person that created it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The only person that knows why Leslie is put on this earth is the one that created her. And until we get that kind of mentality, I love my people, I love my father, I love my children, but I don't let no one tell me what my purpose
Hallelujah.
is. Because you don't know my purpose. You didn't create me. You didn't send me to this earth. That's not your job. It's not my job to tell you your purpose. Mm-hmm. It's not my job to tell her purpose. Mm-hmm. It's her job to get back to the one that sent her here and ask him, why am I here? And you are not here to make money. Excuse me. You're not here to gain wealth and fame. You are here to bring the kingdom of God to the earth in the role and the way that he wants you to do it, and you're going to only find that out how? Spending time with him. You're going it will never get away from spending quality time talking to him. I love Lena's statement that day when she said, I leave him post-it notes and I leave him there. But when I ask you, if a man just left you post-it notes and he never spent time with you, how would that work in a relationship? She said, that wouldn't go very well. Thank you very kindly. That's nice to leave God some post-it notes, but he wants you to sit down and listen to him and talk to him and spend time with him and want to be there. And then get up and leave him a post-it note on how much you love
30 minutes to an hour, that's just...
That goes so fast.
That
goes so fast.
It goes so fast.
I'm sitting up in the morning, and before I know it, it's time to get dressed, and I'm running late, trying to get out of here. Because it's amazing how fast time goes. Yeah. But my days are better.
But he does talk to you.
Because he does talk to you.
Through the day.
He does. He does speak to you. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Let's skip over to 14, and let's look at that. Where it says what we need to understand. What we need to understand is that God made a second human being, not just for Adam to marry, but in order that he would not be what? Alone. That's why he created that woman. You see it? Not so he could get married. And he's telling you, marriage didn't come to later on. You do not have to marry in order to not be alone. All you need not to be alone is to have what? Some other humans to be your companion and close friends. That will get rid of your loneliness, not married. Because I know some married folk that are telling me, I feel so alone. Yeah. Because they thought marriage was going to cure their loneliness.
And marriage is not it.
That's not what marriage does. Go ahead.
That next chapter about marriage, that tells you what marriage is about.
Mm-hmm. And this one here?
Mm-hmm. It tells you all about marriage. What is marriage?
Let me go to page 15. I like this because we talked about this. God only what? Presents. Mm-hmm. You choose.
Yeah, there you go.
When I got that one.
Yeah.
See, when I got that, I was going through divorce. I hadn't divorced yet, but I knew it was. But I'm non. And matter of fact, remember I told you. She walks out. God said, "I'm gonna give you a son." So I'm thinking, if he's gonna give me a son, he must be gonna give me a wife. I was not about to enter into another relationship and not know nothing about marriage. That's why this book was, again, I don't know how I got this book. And this was the most interesting part of this man's life that got me was he had a 99% marriage success rate at his church.
Wow.
Now, if you get married and want to stay married, you might ought to listen to, I said to myself, I might ought to listen to what this man is doing and what this man is saying.
That's true.
So when I found out he had a 90, what was he doing? He would take them together and counsel them for 9 months before. If you wouldn't go through 9 months of counseling, he wasn't gonna marry you.
Wow. 9 months. Yeah.
9 months.
That's about right. That's what I talked
of counseling and showing you what marriage is and what I said.
36 weeks. Yeah.
I even called to find out from them. Do they? You might know me. They don't even know.
Call who?
I called his church,
Yeah.
his headquarters, and said, "Where's the program that he was teaching at?"
Oh yeah, I remember you said that.
They act like I was speaking something for him. I hung the phone up and said, "Wow, I'm scared for all the work he done.
Yeah. Because
I'm
he's
scared
gone.
for it. I really am.
He's gone.
Maybe they're hurting so bad. Maybe they're going through so bad. I don't know. But what are you talking about?" I said, "The program that he was teaching for 9 months.
Marriage.
Marriage. Do you guys have any information on that?" "Oh, yeah." I'm still waiting on a phone call today. So I gave it up and said, I'll just keep learning and studying this myself. And that's why I started the marriage seminars, because I wanted people to understand. I kind of like adopted that philosophy, when I was pastoring 101, somebody came in the office and said, "I want you to marry me and so-and-so." I said, "I'm not going to do it." And they got mad at me. They got married, and what happened? The person died 1 month later.
Yep.
But the problems that it created when they married him was unbelievable.
Yep.
That's what cause God present don't mean you have to choose it.
That's right.
You will notice in Genesis, the true pattern of God is that God presented the woman to the man. You may pray for a husband or a wife, but then wait for God to present him or her. It is essential to note that God only presented her to the man. He did not choose her for the man. He preserves man's power to choose by simply presenting. Adam made the decision. He chose her in essence. God will not choose your mate for you. For if he did, that would violate your what?
Right.
Power of choice.
But it was easier for Adam because she was the only one there like him.
But she didn't have to marry her still. Look what happened when they got married.
Yeah.
Look what happened.
She became...
The enemy came in.
Yeah.
And today we are still dealing with it. You know what? I know all of that sounds good, that was easy because that was the only one that, don't you know, some more were going to come down the line.
Yeah, well.
Some more were coming down the line. We don't know how, don't know when. Even if that don't make sense, he still didn't have to choose this particular woman.
Even I didn't have to choose him, even though I asked God specifically for him.
I did not have
want
to choose
him. And that's what I told him. I want him. Because when he came to preach, he asked my mom and I to ask God for anything you want. And I said, I want him. I don't know. He presented it. Now, if that's the same thing.
Well, you asked.
I asked.
But how did that work? I used my prophetic power, role, authority, because God said, give them an opportunity to ask for whatever they want. That's what he told me to say.
Right.
And that's what I said. I had no clue what she was going to ask for. I thought it was going to be something else.
A car.
I don't think Mom ever told me what hers was. As a matter of fact, if God chose your mate, he would not be only violating your right to choose, but he will be taking responsibility for your relationship. If it failed, the blame could be transferred to who?
Him.
That point is crucial. For I have only counseled many individuals who were misguided by the misconception that God has created only one specific person on this planet for them to marry. That's a lie.
That's a lie?
That's a lie. It's a lot of people that will make you a good husband or a good wife. God ain't no one specific person. God gonna just no.
So when they talk about soulmate.
Yeah, go ahead and talk that. And I've heard that so many. That's my soulmate. Well, why y'all divorced?
Well, we were in love when we first
Yeah,
met.
yeah, because you didn't know nothing about marriage. You were never single. You never been single. Here is what I'm now understanding. Let's keep reading. So think about the danger of such thinking. That means that the odds are what? 1 to 5 billion. That's how many people on the planet. For you to find that right. Others have gone so far as to use prophecy to justify this misconception. If God will and has chosen one individual out of 5 billion, you imagine the odds of you finding one person out of 5 billion to marry? Because that's the one person, only one person on this earth for you. You are out of your mind. Why don't you go play the lottery? You got a better chance of winning the lottery than to finding a husband. And did it without your knowledge. So you don't even know, and permission, and without the other person. That's why I see people, God said that's going to be my wife. Really? Seriously? And you tell him, didn't they one, we know one did that, and the woman was so miserable, she prayed to die.
Yeah.
And they were pastoring a church.
Yeah. She did, all right.
And she died before him.
Did.
But because she was so happy to get out of that. But he met her and told her, you're going to be my wife.
Don't pray for me. Don't pray for me.
That's not even giving you the power to say what? No, I'm not. You already know that. Right. No, I'm not. That ain't what he said to me.
Ain't what he told me.
Power of choice.
That's right.
What we want to do is give you good information, give people good information, so what? You can make better decisions. If you had better information, you would make better decisions.
Like that book.
This helped me. Sister Leslie, by the time I got to chapter 3, I was smiling. I'm telling you what, I wasn't even married. By the time I could get to chapter 3, I was reading this, and I was smiling because I said, I'm going to marry the right woman this time. And I'm going to stay married, and I'm going to have a good wife. Yeah. I was smiling before chapter 3. Didn't even read all of it. I just knew that this is what I was missing. This is what the church never told me. And now I would go even further to say, as you know him as king, it's the king's responsibility to put people in your life. Yeah. Don't you go choosing them. You're not good at it. Right. Y'all heard me say, I wouldn't know a good woman if she sat in my lap. So I knew he was going to help me. He was going to help present something good. And I had 2 presentations. One I said, that ain't it. The other one I said, that's it. Told my mom. Then I began to see how important, even though fathers can be not the best example that you need, but he also knows you well enough that when you say, I think I'm going to marry that person, he'll look at it and say, no. I know one, he was drunk all the time. Told his daughter, but I'd marry that fella. And you know why she didn't listen to him? You don't know what you're talking about. All you do is drink. She married him. He tried to burn the house down with him and her and the children in it.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
You know why? Because still as fathers, we have a protection. Yeah. That we, even though we may not be where we want to be.
You may not, that's right.
But we know what we see.
You've been through it.
Ask my daughter, everything she's going through now, I tried to warn her. Man, she knows. I set her down and I said, honey, good man, but he's got to grow up. Wow. He's got to grow up. This is what I see. Why? I'm trying to protect you. But I also saw that she has to make her own decisions. I cannot violate your power of choice. God won't do it. Mac Lee won't do it. No man or true man or woman of God will violate your decision, your power of choice that will always be yours. What do? We give you good information. We try and help you to get that's what your father should be doing. Right. But most fathers don't do this because they didn't get it. Right. So, but good dads give their daughters and their sons good information so that they can make what? Good choices.
Nurture.
Nurture. It ain't the things hanging off the chest. What I thought growing up is the nurture. That's what the mom using. It's the words. It's the advice. It's the love. It's the teaching. It's the education. It's the being patient. It's the putting your arm, even when the bad decision is made. Come over here and get back under my arms.
That's what God told me.
Yes, bad decisions, you're going to make them. Because why? You have the freedom of choice. And if you don't go get some information, I love that crossroad analogy I was given growing up as a young man. You come to a crossroad, over there is a stand that says, if you choose this road, this is what's down it. Over here on the left is another stand that says, if you choose this road, this is what's down there. A lot of people come to the crossroad and just choose. Why don't you go over to the stand and say, now if I choose the right one, well, some suffering down that road, it's some heartache, but at the end of this road, you'll be better off because you're going to know it was a little bumpy to get you there, but you're going to be better off because you gain some knowledge, you gain some wisdom. Now, this is a smooth sailing road, but at the end of that is destruction. I mean, it looked like it was paved real good, but, man, when you get out there on it, it starts to sinking and dipping and dabbing, and you can't recover. Now, which one would you choose? But no, that ain't what we do. We drive up to that crossroad, meow, see somebody, don't ask no questions. What you think about this? What do you think about that? And that, Lord, that's where I am now. I don't mind walking up to people and start asking questions and seeing if I can figure out before. Karen and I, we were making so many bad decisions. We said, look, we're going to start thinking this over now before we just jump out there and do stuff.
It's getting ridiculous. So we still make them.
We still but not as bad.
Not as bad.
We sit down and we talk about it.
That's right.
Let's see. Should we buy this? Should we get into this? We bought we bought that timeshare that time, and on the way home we went back.
3 days later,
we found out that we had 3 days to cancel. By that second day, we woke up and said, we ain't got no money for this. I called that, and that man got mad with me. Why'd you come over here and sit down and talk? I said, that ain't what the law says. I ain't but you be mad at me all you want to. The law says I have 3 days.
Because I want to.
And after the third day, before the third day, I can call and cancel this. Now, you cancel my contract and give me my money back.
That's right.
I don't argue with you. I'm just doing what the law says I have a right to do. I don't know why you come over here in the first place. You just mad because you losing the sale. I ain't thinking about you. You're going to lose the sale anyway because I ain't going to be able to pay for it. You're going to repossess it.
That's right. That's what you want? Fine. I had to do that yesterday or at the store.
Yeah. Take
it back. My budget was this. Put this back, put this back, put this back.
Yeah.
I was so happy when I did.
God, don't ever let no one take your power to choose away from God. And that's how you know it ain't God. Let's see. Oh, yeah, 5 billion. Then, why would he not choose salvation for you? Yeah, why don't you let him choose salvation for you?
No, he don't do this.
I want power child. I want to be Baptist. I want to be Methodist. You want to choose that, but you won't let God? No, ain't get away from
It's something, just rebellion against him. Just rebellion.
Let's go down to the very last bottom. What does alone mean?
That's a good one.
When God said it was not good for Adam to be alone, the word used has 3 major foundational definitions: exclusive, isolated, solitary. Solitary. In the prison center, in a prison. What do they put that person to break his will? When he could be acting a fool and talking about how bad he is, what do they take him? Solitary. Why? Because it ain't good to be stuck by yourself.
4x4, 6x6.
There you go. That's the prime example. Man has figured out to break you down and to make you calm down, they go stick you in a hole by yourself. What's going on when you're in there by yourself? You're thinking.
Hopefully.
You're calming down.
Crying.
You're crying. You're reminiscing. I don't know why I'm behaving like this.
I tell my kids, go to your room. Go to your room.
That's what God saw. That if I leave Adam isolated, if I leave him solitary, exclusive, it ain't good. Ain't none of us, he said, ain't none of us that good that we ought to be isolated. Even introverts need introverts. If introverts got together, they're not alone. They are with their kind. It's not good for man to be exclusive. It's not good for man to be isolated. And it's not good for man to be in a solitary state. You need your kind. You need your kind. Key. And he gave us an example about keys. Each key is unique, separate, and whole, but yet all the keys are joined by a common ring. The keys are single, but not what?
Alone.
Alone. Thus, it is possible to be single and not be alone. Good illustration to show you. That's what each key is its own separate key. You cannot, keys I got up there, some of them, you can, even though it'll fit in there, but it won't unlock it.
They won't unlock it.
Because why? It's so unique
Yes.
that it's only designed to unlock a certain lock. But yet it's on a ring with a bunch of other keys. It's unique, but not alone. That's what God wants out of us. To be unique individuals. Discover. I'm talking when Leslie get on a discovery of Leslie. That's when you will be out there and he'll present someone to you. Because he'll say, it's time. He'll even make you pray the prayer. Pray the prayer and then turn around and answer the prayer while you're praying the prayer, because it's time for you to hook up with the person that he wants you to hook up with. Present it to you, and you will look at it and say, I like that.
Yeah.
Or you look at it and say, mm-mm.
That's what I did.
When I met her, my mom had never laid eyes on her. Never seen her, didn't know her mom. I go home and I say, Mom, I think I found someone that I'm going to be in a relationship with and possibly marry. She just smiled. And I said, oh my God, this is it. And they asked me all the time on the job, did you know? I knew it. I studied marriage for 5 years. This was a 5-year study of this book and marriage material. I knew I should never ever be in a relationship with one somebody's going to try to control me, messing with my will, and I'm not going to mess with their will. I'm going to keep discovering and being that whole unique, and I've been on this search for 21 years. I'm still discovering Mac Lee. 6 months to mind my own business, 6 months to leave her alone. What do? My job, he said, husband, do what? Love your wife. That's my role. That's my job. Not to control her. So therefore, I'm not messing with what he's telling her. Don't even have a desire to mess with it. My job is to love her in that moral and social way. Do I need work on it? Absolutely. So why am I messing with her if I need to be working on that? Men get scared when women start becoming independent. It scares them. Because do you know what they see? I ain't going to have no control over.
Yeah.
You shouldn't in the first place. What you should be having control over is you. It scares me when a man want to control a woman and a woman allows someone to control him, or vice versa. I allowed my ex-wife to control me. I mean, I was nervous. I couldn't operate straight.
Because you were trying to make her happy.
Because I was trying to make her happy.
And she wasn't happy.
And what we ended up doing, I figured out.
Two unhappy people together.
In the first place. I couldn't make her happy. I tried. I mean, I bought leather skirts. I bought brand new cars. Leather skirts. When leather skirts were popular. I mean, I
ain't got one yet.
I bought a leather skirt. Most people don't know today that ain't cool. But back then, I was buying $100 dresses on hardly zero income, and the Lord was paying for them. I'm telling you, I'm not making that up. He told me to give her whatever she want, and he paid for it. And you know, she still left.
So you think he told you that so you could see that she...
When she exited the door, I saw, wow, there's nothing I'm going to do that would make her stay. I gave her everything I wanted, she wanted. And that was that time I was learning his voice and learning his way better. And I saw that the things he was telling me to do, I didn't have no money. I didn't even have a job. So how am I going to pay for it? He would bless me with the money. He would say, go. He told me to go do stuff. And I'm sitting there, I ain't got no money. Just go. Go. When you knock on the door, they're going to give it to you. That's what he would tell me. I would go. People that didn't even give me nothing would say, oh, yeah, you can have it. And one person, he said, they're going to loan you the car. And I want you to take her out for your wedding anniversary. And I'm saying, God, I ain't got no money. I don't even have my car had broken. He said, go ask this person. I've already told them. I went and asked this person. They gave me the car. And I'm sitting there saying, I ain't got no money. Someone walked up to me and said, God told me to give you this. And I'm sitting there going, okay, this is getting spooky now. You sent me to a person that don't ever loan their vehicles. And they said yes. I'm on my way back home and don't have no money. A person stopped by and says, God told me to give you this. And I'm looking at it and going, oh my God, that's pretty much what I need to go do what I need and buy the gas. And still a year later, walked out the door. And I'm sitting there saying, wow, there ain't a thing you can do about it. Okay. And you know what? I'm not going back to pursue it. I'm not trying to make it stay.
No.
When it don't want you, let it go.
Let it go.
I heard message after message when God moved people out of your life.
Hey!
Don't you go chasing.
That's right.
I didn't go chasing. Was it painful and hurt?
Oh yeah.
Because when I discovered this word here, that's a word that when you split it up, this is a word by itself. Vorse means power. Die means split. Anytime you split power, it's going to be weak on anything in life. Split the power and you're going to see, I felt so weak. I felt so vulnerable. Whose strength was I operating on while I'm being split? All 8 years of working hard to make it work. But yet I begin to see it's going to leave me. Yeah. And I start saying stuff like, if it ain't meant to be,
it ain't meant to be.
But
see, that was building up your self-esteem.
Oh, yes.
Low self-esteem. Don't go chasing after something want you.
That's what was letting me know. It was building up then and saying, when I move it, don't you go back and get it.
That's right.
I say to one of my cousins, God has moved this person out of your life. Why are you chasing that again?
Self-esteem.
Low self-esteem. Why it's in prison, it's in jail. Why you want it? Go on with your life. She had a massive meltdown. Yeah. I just discovered this when I went back. Yeah. Massive. Pretty much so crazy they had to put her in a straitjacket and lock her down on the bed. Why? You chasing something that God don't want you to chase. Chase Him.
You don't want a relationship with God, but
chase Him. Chase Him. Get in pursuit of Him. That's what I done. That's what I done. I got in pursuit of God, and I realized I wasn't single. I realized I had low self-esteem. And I'm going to tell you this. There's a flip side to getting high self-esteem. People going to call you arrogant.
Oh, yeah.
You think you know. That's your problem. You think you know it all. Yeah, you think you know it all. I don't like people who think they know it all. But see, I'm like this. I don't let that bother me. I don't let praises bother me. And I don't let criticism bother me. Why? Because I know who I am now. I know what I can do. I know what I've been called to do. Your praising me don't bother me, and your criticizing me don't. So have at it. Throw it. Either way, Mac Lee gonna keep on moving. Because I got Him to please. I know Him now. I hear His voice. I hear Him talking to me. I got my assignment now. I'm cool. That ain't God talking to you. That's the devil. Hey, say what you will. It's working. Is yours working for you? Are you happy? Then stay with it. And the moment it ain't working no more, get rid of it. It's just that simple. I don't need all the stuff people trying to say and do now. And it ain't Miles Monroe that did it for me. It was God. Did it through some information that Miles was teaching that I've always wondered about. I got my answers for him now. There it is again. Seek first a what? That's what I was missing. A kingdom lifestyle. I didn't know about a kingdom. I didn't know nothing about seek ye first the kingdom. You're not going to get around it. You're not going to get around it. You're not going to get around it.
Like with Eric, I don't